Corvette. Yeah.
Because of that blunder, he starts his own label.
Well, essentially, I don't know if he buys. He must buy because he buys a label called Bell Records, and Bell had at the time I think it had like the Fifth Dimension. It actually had the old Cold Gems label, which the Monkees were on. So that was their catalog, and they had I think the first hit he had, I want to say it was like Brandy by the Looking Glass.
Oh yeah,
maybe I'm confusing that because he signed Barry Manilow, who had to change the name of his future hit Brandy into Mandy because of that
Mandy.
song.
You just stop me.
That's
from
definitely
shaking.
Clive Davis is Barry Manilow. But then oddly, so the thing that always thinks about Clive Davis is, right, almost everything is cheese. But then he signs Patti Smith, like he puts out Horses. Like it's really strange. Like
but it speaks to how the industry works. Nobody knows what you throw spaghetti on the wall and wait for something to stick.
She wasn't like a huge pop art. Eventually she gets to Because the Night for a minute. But
Phil Spector produced the Ramones, the Murderer.
But
that's different. The Ramones.
I'm just saying, like everybody goes like.
No. But I'm talking.
But you don't know what's going to be the next. You really don't know what's going to be the next step.
But I'm just saying the Clive Davis thing is to, the man with the golden ears, and he's going to find you a hit song and whatever. Patti Smith is completely. I write my own songs. It's poetry, and we do this, and it's edgy. That's what I'm saying. He's a semi Svengali kind of. At least he claims he is, right? And
self-proclaimed, yeah.
And so. That's the thing. He would pick this, and he literally would tell, these artists like, oh yeah, no, you got to.
Horses does not get anywhere on the charts. Come on.
But let me try.
That's what I'm saying. The anomaly to me is like, he sticks with her. He supports her. She has nothing but amazing things to say about. But that's what I'm just saying. It's that you think about that label. She shares a label with Barry Manilow, and there's not a lot of artists on the label. Arista is not a deep catalog. It's.
But John, is he
a record each year?
Is he the kind of guy that is like he sees her, she's a young woman, and he's like, okay, what we're gonna do is like, okay, great, you write your own songs. I'm gonna bring in these songwriter guys and get you a song, like Aretha Franklin.
The thing is, Patti Smith wouldn't sign to a label like that. You know what I mean? She was very much like.
How does Bruce Springsteen find that song then? Because I mean, he's. Like the only reason that a lot of us like Bruce Springsteen is because he's a prolific songwriter and with a certain amount of weight to it and this and that. And so you can sort of intellectualize Bruce Springsteen, even though I never really had any time for the noise that he makes.
I'm kind of the same way too.
But that said, like, how is it that like, it seems like the wrong, like, why would you pitch to him? Like, he doesn't need, she doesn't need, you know what I mean? Like those two are songwriters.
The story goes, Jimmy Iovine is the engineer on Born to Run and Darkness on the Edge of Town, and he's begging to get his first production credits. He produces, he's the producer on Easter for Patti Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're working, Darkness on the Edge of Town famously is recorded like 50 times. They record like 75 songs for whatever. And he's working on Because the Night. And Jimmy's like, I don't have a single for the Patti Smith. Bruce, you got to let me have it. He's like, well, I haven't even finished it yet. And he literally has Patti finish it. And then.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it's Jimmy Iovine puts the two together through his relationship. And I think to a certain extent, Landau is kind of pissed off, Springsteen's manager. It's like, what are you doing here? You're taking, and I think it was kind of like, through just pure balls and pushing it through. He got the record on. He got the record for Patti Smith. And this,
wow, it all works out in the end. But like, right, there's also, units being pushed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's sort of after the fact of this too, but it's not like Patty and so Bruce, it wasn't, a bottom line kind of guy, and so he was in at the time, early on he was
right. We're not talking about Bruce, but he's got people.
But he knows Patty from he played Max's Kansas City, right? And that was kind of like he when he was early on, when his first couple records were, how many words can I make these songs? Like they go on and on and on.
Well, this band sounds like a high school band, like of all the best musicians. You know what I mean? But like, it just sounds like.
But I'm saying, but this is, and he's not
like. Why would Patti Smith There's
so is Tom Waits signed first, and then Bruce Springsteen is like, oh, he's like Tom Waits. Is that how or is it the other way around?
Bruce always has a big band, though, doesn't he? He's like it's like Bruce, even when he's young, he's still got a big band.
Bruce bases the band on Van Morrison's band at the time. Like that's like he loves Van Morrison, and it's like that, Oh,
I didn't know that.
Domino, right? Like you think about
right.
You can see that, right?
Yeah,
you get that in there, the horn section and all that too. But remember, so Springsteen has his first two albums like 72. So Springsteen, they're kind of the new poets, the new Dylans, and it's literally
that's what I was getting at. Yeah,
it's Tom Waits, it's Bruce Springsteen, Ricky Lee Jones gets tossed in there, and Patti Smith gets tossed in there. So they're kind of press people together too. Like the press are putting them together rather, but they know each other. They obviously move in,
the newest generation of singer-songwriters.
Exactly.
Stuff,
right? It's the East Coast versus the
West,
the West Coast, where you have Jackson Brown and the Eagles, James Taylor, and kind of vibe thing too, right? So there's all that. So they're not that as far apart. Bruce Springsteen after Born to Run, and then where he goes through there, that's when he gets, he kind of goes off and becomes much more the guy you're thinking of now. But he remember he had the beard and the cap, and he was definitely more folky and Dylan-esque, at least in that world. He was a storyteller and that. But so Patty knew each other, but it because the night wasn't like, hey, let's write a song together, and they sat down. It was kind of like during the recording of the song, she added another verse and changed some of the word, and it became a co-write. So it's not a,
I didn't know that she ever had a writing credit on it. I had no idea.
Yep.
There you go.
Right. So, and then a similar story, Jimmy Iovine does the same thing where his girlfriend is making a solo record, and he had produced Damn the Torpedoes for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, who were much bigger at the time. And he ends up stealing, he gets Stevie Nicks to sing on Stop Dragging My Heart Around. And Stevie Nicks gets, I forget what's this song that.
Is Fleetwood Mac on Arista? Are you talking about, I'm sorry, who are we talking about?
Jimmy Iovine.
Oh, Jimmy. Okay.
Saying the same magic, doing the same magic that he did with Patti Smith and Bruce Springsteen of Tom Petty and Stevie Nicks.
Gotcha.
So how he snags a song from Tom Petty that becomes a duet on.
Yeah,
I get
great
it.
song. Yeah.
I get it.
Same thing. Like you'll. It's
when does the Elvis Costello, Elton John and. Is it Kiki D, right? Like when is that?
That's
only
76. That's way before all of this.
Is that the lightning in the bottle we're trying to capture?
But so Kiki D.
What year it is? Because of the Night come out.
79.
You're like way before. Okay, 3 years before. Like
there was no punk rock, but when one happened, there was punk rock when the other one did. You know what I mean? I mean, Patti Smith had put out Horses in 75.
Patti Smith and punk rock, like, there's no leap there. But like Bruce Springsteen and punk rock, like, there's nothing punk rock about Bruce Springsteen, right? Like you can give him folk cred, but like he's not punk rock. There's nothing punk rock about Bruce Springsteen.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that you did. Then I'm making a statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a first beat down in the new season.
There is nothing punk rock about
Put up
Bruce
your
Springsteen,
nukes.
ever.
Hold on.
Nice.
What's that? Oh, that's no one arguing with you.
You've been working on your dad jokes over the break.
Thank you.
No, but it's like he's in the clubs and he's working it, and so
it's funny. There's a line between, like, you can make a line between Joe Strummer and Bruce Springsteen, but there's nothing punk rock about Bruce Springsteen at all, ever.
Okay, yeah, okay, never. But I guess
not even one. Oh wait, no.
But look,
no, there is not.
I'm just going to interject. He's at the bottom line, and he's doing his gigs, and he's playing. He's working on his craft and playing to his craft. Building an audience and doing his thing. And then like 10 blocks south of him, you get over to CBGB's in that area and the Mercer Arts Building or whatever. Where
Mercer Arts, you could stand on stage at the bottom line and throw a stone where
even better. So but it's two separate. It's like, oh, they're a Mercer Arts band, we're a bottom line band, but they're parallels but different genres, right? Or different kind of thing.
Way.
But we're both up and we're trying to build an audience and find our sound. Our thing,
but also you're making it sound like musically they were in another, but geographically they're in the same space.
They're a block away.
You know what I mean? They're like
which could happen. I mean, you could be at the same club, but on different nights we do this kind of music, and the other nights we do songwriter stuff. Yeah,
you even make it sound like it would be like the opening act was completely different than the second act. It's like, right, the famous Springsteen show at Max's Kansas City. It was him opening for Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Wow.
At Max's Kansas City. I mean, you wouldn't put those two together.
No, you would never ever want to do it again. Like I'm okay. That's so great that it never.
Right, but that's the booking person at Max's that doesn't know anything about anything, and he's like, okay, we need another band. But I'm saying, like,
people look back on that wistfully now. Are you kidding me? That's like,
you thought that was a mistake. That guy, what an awesome booking agent that is.
Right.
That guy, he's a genius.
Definitely is like getting pats on the back for that. There's no doubt about it.
He's a bona fide genius.
And yet,
just like all the other, like the guys that end up signing him, I'm a genius because it worked out.
Same demographic is they want to hear, they want to hear Three Little Birds, and they want to hear, Born to Run, Baby. It's the same demo.
I heard they did a great jam on I Shot the Sheriff.
They don't know what's gonna really take off, and it's the throw it at the wall.
But Tony, you know how clubs work. Clubs,
I know.
Clubs. It's like, who's going to bring people in?
Who's going to bring people in?
Money from alcohol.
Exactly.
It's like.
I know, but with Max's Kansas City aside, I'm saying that the club scene in New York, from what we knew in the 80s and 90s, is like, Bottom Line has their crowd, and you're bringing in people to this place. These other clubs down further south, a little edgier, bringing in their folk, but to a label guy like, I don't know, this is what's going. Go out and find me the next big artist, right? Is that what the guy up top is telling everybody? Go out and find the next big thing. So these guys go out to clubs and they're looking for a band or looking for an act that they can then eventually turn into or become $1 million record selling thing. Yeah. And it's like, these guys, they draw a crowd all the time, and the crowd is singing along. This guy, Bruce, I'm telling you, I can't understand what he's saying, but people love him. He's always drawing a crowd.
Mumbling. He's always mumbling.
Yeah, I don't get it. And he's got this saxophone player you would not believe. However he's selling it,
Oh, my God.
And he's okay. We get him in here. Look, I can get these guys in here for a few $1,000 to record some stuff, and we see what...
Yeah.
Isn't there that amount of that?
But it was so unbelievably, like, I hated it. It was exclusionary. It was good. Like, it was so geeky with like, you know, I'm going to get this big band out here and we're going to have this huge thing going on. And it was just so, God, it's just fucking awful.
What do you like?
Bruce Springsteen, like that sound is just like,